All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's talk about Swarm. Let's talk about this TV show, man. So I think
We
um we both got a chance to check it out. I kind of binge watched it.
Yeah, I
Um
pretty much binge watched it.
yeah. So this is what the thing. I want to talk about it, but it's difficult to talk about it without, getting into too much spoilers and nothing like that. You feel me? So
Should we do spoiler
but
alert or cause
yeah, we should do a spoiler alert, but
hey
anybody that's watching it live, if you didn't see it, then you might want to,
yeah,
not
close your
listen.
ears or something.
But it's just like you got to talk about it and talk about it in full because it's hard. It's hard to talk about it on just the surface of what it is. But so first off, what did you think? Like, you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched the
What
whole
did you
thing.
think?
Um, I think honestly, I think it was very very creative. Like that's one thing.
Yeah,
That's one thing I like. I like movies like that nobody really touched before. You know what I'm saying? I haven't a plot
yeah,
like that. I've really never heard of it and done in that kind of way. Um,
sure, yeah.
yeah. Like so,
Uh-huh.
creativity wise, it's up there. But
Oh,
like one of those, it's one of those movies that is very confusing. It's so open ended. Like you
really?
don't,
Well,
I don't even know what I
I
got from
feel
that
like
movie.
it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't confusing until there's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah,
I was
seven.
or seven.
I think seven. Yeah,
I wouldn't say it got episode 6 is where it was it was confusing for me. And
yeah.
then when I understood what I was seeing, then I was like, oh. And then I was like, well. And then for me, the last episode 7 was a complete like a misfire. Like they like
Yeah.
there's a way they could have went with it after episode 6 where I would have been like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because while episode 6 threw me off, it didn't completely turn me off from it. But when I see how they did episode 7, I was like, nah, for what y'all showed us in episode 6, this was a stupid way to do this.
Yeah. Like Leger
But
said,
wait a
very.
minute, we'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
go ahead, go ahead,
What
go ahead.
happened? Go ahead.
Now, Leger said, very interesting plot, but by the end, it felt very empty and a little pointless. And you know what? Okay,
Right.
so like obviously, I don't know about y'all, but I did a lot. I was like watching a lot of videos and people kind of explaining their thoughts on the ending. And honestly, I feel like I got the idea of what they were trying to portray for that episode, for that last episode, with like 6 and 7. It kind of obviously it goes together. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of just I don't know. They really was just playing with people's minds, bro. Like playing with people's heads for episode 6 and 7. From what I think, I don't know.
All right. Let me wait. So for episode 6, and again, so I will say spoiler alert,
Yeah,
just so
spoiler alert.
people know. I'm still not gonna get too like deep into what the specifics is.
Semi spoiler alert.
Um, all right, semi spoiler alert. So episode 6 basically explains or shows you that everything that you were watching before episode 6 was kind of like a reenactment, or you were
Yeah,
watching a show within a show,
like a
right?
yeah.
Because the punchline or the twist, I guess, is that the show, which is obviously created by Donald Glover, within the show, this is not going to make sense, but within the show, he's making the show. So what you're seeing up until episode 6 is the show Donald Glover created within the show. And then episode 6 is basically a mockumentary about the real situation the Donald Glover show is based on.
The last
Again,
7.
it's
Yeah,
not
the
real.
episode 7 is the mockery you saying is of episode 6.
Right. Well, no, because technically that's what I was saying. With episode 7, they basically just picked up where they left off but now we know that what we're watching is not completely real, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool because even from the first episode up until episode 6, so much things happen that are kind of like so kind of bizarre that you're
Yeah,
kind of like,
yeah.
this is kind of like. And then when you see that, and you're like, all right, now it makes sense why it was so kind of extreme.
Yeah.
But I think where they dropped the ball is with episode 7, once they told us what we were watching wasn't real, they should have, episode 7, they should have showed us the real. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it makes sense, they should have picked up with it. You see how the cop lady or the detective for episode 6, when it
Yeah.
was like a documentary.
Yeah.
I think episode 7 just should have been a continued real episode of her going to go talk to the real Dominique. What was her name? Not Dominique. That's the actress's name.
That's true.
What's her name? Dre.
The real Dre. Yeah.
Dre.
Yeah. That
But instead of just
episode 6 had me creeped the hell out. It really had me creeped out because when I'm seeing like different faces, I'm like, yo, why am I seeing the whole episode? I'm like, why am I seeing different faces, bro?
Did you understand that though? Let me ask you. When you first started, at what point did you get that? Like, what point did you understand that's what
at
what
the
you
end,
seeing?
bro? At the end, even the past where it's like, oh, because they did that to confuse people, man. When they were like, she's like, this is her. It looks like her, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, that's not her. Like, what the hell's going on?
But you know what I thought? You know what I thought I thought was like, at first I thought episode 6 was the was like the fake show. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought they were trying, like, you know, when you watch like mockumentaries, or not even a mockumentary, but like one of them crime dramas or something, and they do the reenactments with people that's not the real people. I thought that's what they was doing. But then like you at the end, but at the end, that's when I realized, I was like, oh, what we were watching before was fake, and what we're seeing, this is like what the real people look like.
That's what I'm saying. While I was watching episode 6, I was thinking like that was happening in the show real time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they decided to do, you know what I'm saying?
I thought it was it was throwing me off that the people didn't look like the people that they were saying. But then I'm like, maybe they're doing that to like, you know, for like some legal thing within the documentary. But then I was like, okay, I get where it's going. And you know, another thing I noticed, actually, like I watched a couple episodes again. The I don't even know how to explain this, but the show within the show that Donald Glover is doing, the girl's name, what's the singer's name again? Like
Chloe Bailey or the other one?
Who?
Which singer? You mean? Oh, Niger. Right?
If you look at the episode 6 documentary, they're saying Beyonce. Like it's really supposed to be Beyonce, but I guess like in the Donald Glover show, he couldn't say Beyonce, so they made it Najee.
Oh, they were bleeping it out. They were bleeping it out.
Yeah, like that's why they're bleeping it out when every time they said it, because really they're saying Beyonce. And then when you look up some of the stuff that happens, that some of that stuff really happened to Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like in real life. Wait, so it's like, so it's like
some of the like creepy fan stuff.
Yeah, like some of the creepy fan stuff. And I feel, and that's why like the disclaimer says like, oh, any of this that's based on. So it's like a whole mind.
That's what I'm saying. It was playing. They played on my mind heavy, man. Like that was it got creepy. And another thing too, I think it was episode 5, because in episode 6, that's what I'm saying. Like this is where I'd like put 2 and 2 together. Obviously, like way after, because in episode 6 they were talking, and then the mom was like, oh, my husband died, this, that, and the other, like a long time ago, right? And in episode, I think it was like 5, he was there trying to, you know, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't noticed that.
But I didn't get that part. That part, so that didn't really happen, is what they were saying.
It couldn't have happened because he died. He died like of cancer or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like that they want you to connect that and realize, oh, the stuff that happened before is supposed to be real, but it's very dramatized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Boom. Like it's based on, you know, based on a true story or whatever. Like, yeah, so I got that. I thought that was, you know, that was interesting. Although I you know, I was thinking, if you've seen the American Horror Story, I forget which number it is, but Roanoke, the season was called Roanoke. They kind of did something similar to that. So I feel like that might have been somewhat inspiration of where Donald Glover got the idea. But again, the idea was cool and the execution was cool. But I just feel like that last episode, it just went back to the actress playing Dre and showing how. And then also it was just like kind of throw me off because it was just moving so fast. She was in this new relationship with a girl and like
that threw me off. And she was acting all different, like changed up her style, was acting completely different. And
which I got that because like I guess because she was on the run or whatever, so it was like she had to switch up everything. But it was just so like this, everything in the last episode was paced way wrong to me. Like it just happened all too fast. And then I get at the end they were trying to show you like how her like her mental illness and her obsession didn't change, and that it's still getting her into the same problems that she got into with her sister. And that was cool. But like I said, I don't know. I just feel like Leger said, the last one just kind of just empty. Like that last episode just didn't feel like it didn't amount to everything else that they showed us
True,
up
true.
until
I
that
could
point.
see that. But one thing I could say is I can't think of one actor on there that didn't like kill it. I feel like all of the actors, I can't think of anybody that did a poor job. I think all of them did really great. Somebody said that
Yeah.
the girl who was Dre's girlfriend didn't do that great. But I think it was only in one
Yeah.
scene. Only in one scene she didn't do that great. But other than that, like they did a very good job picking the actors for this movie. Because when I
Yeah,
seen
for sure,
Chloe
for
Bailey was
sure.
going, when I seen Chloe Bailey was going to be in, I'm like, she's more of a singer. I wonder how well she's gonna do. But she did really good.
Yeah, she's a good actress, for sure. I think they definitely did though that thing where it's like there's certain people who you might think is gonna be in the show a lot, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
really. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get it because all of it, this whole show is kind of like a magic trick, kind of like they're kind of like kind of like smoke and mirrors kind of thing. So, because when like Chloe Bailey's technically in like what 2 episodes maybe,
Yeah.
and
And then Billie Eilish in one
uh,
episode.
she episode the homeboy that played Franklin and he's in like maybe 2 episodes also 2 3.
And then they randomly threw what's his name in. We thought he was what's his name McCulkin. We thought he was the original McCulkin.
Rory Pope.
Yeah. I thought he was
He
the
was literally
original.
in like
He was what? Yeah, he's like
he was in
10
like
seconds.
yeah, like literally 10 20 seconds. But you know,
But who that makes sense?
um,
Like, oh wait, but also they made the
but yeah,
actress
but I
seem.
was thinking
Oh
though,
yeah,
just
they
get
did
your
make.
opinion on it.
No, I was
Go
going
ahead.
off
What you
what
said?
Rachel said. Rachel
You made
said
what?
they made the
Oh,
actress seem like she was on the spectrum, I guess autism spectrum in the beginning. Then it was different. Yeah, they really.
yeah.
A lot of people saying they made her seem like she was like autistic in a way. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you pay attention to what I think they was trying to say, because again, a lot of this is speculation because I don't, they made it kind of clear that the moment in her life when she snapped was the first time she heard a Nija song
Mm-hmm.
when she was at that sleepover and she had done whatever, like beat up that little white girl or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like what they were trying to say the whole time is that she had some kind of like Nija's music snapped her into some sort of like, you
Monster.
know, yeah, like monster psychosis or something that just made her turn into like this crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 'cause I think that was the only thing they kind of gave that was an excuse for her behavior or her mental state.
Yeah.
So, what I mean, 'cause at the end when they were when they're doing a documentary and they're asking the mom, and she was saying that the sleepover was kind of what changed her. But I don't know, man. It's a good show. But I was thinking, like, how would you, if the show does well, which I didn't look up how well it does, I'd assume Amazon would want them to do a season 2. But how would you think they would do a season 2 of this? I was thinking maybe like make it a trend of like obsessed fan things. Like
Yeah.
this one was just supposed to be Beyonce, but you could do one with like based off Drake or it's based off like Kanye West, what I'm saying, or something like.
If they do a
I just can't
season,
see them do it.
if they do a season 2, it would have to be like how they did. What show is it? I think American Horror Story. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I mean. Yeah, like a different thing.
It would have to be a whole
bit
different thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like this one is like the end. Like you said, they could be like a little fandom afterwards, but the way they ended it, I don't know. Cause we don't even know really like if the ending was a dream or if that was like reality. They didn't like specify that, so now it comes down to speculation.
I think so you're talking about when she like ran up on, well, yeah, I think that was fake. I think the whole part when Nigel or Beyonce is like talking to her and she's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because remember, from what the police officer said, from what the detective lady said, when the real life Dre ran up on stage, they arrested her.
Yeah, exactly.
And they brought her downtown. So I feel like what we saw was just like Donald Glover trying to his interpretation of what his show or whatever, and saying like that's how it could have went or whatever. But I think again, it would have been more interesting to see the real if it had just went full true crime, for that last episode, and just hope I wanted to see the detective lady go interview Dre, like the real Dre, not the and I think that would be cool.
But you know what though? With
saying?
that though, like that honestly, that would make it normal. And we all know Donald Glover ain't gonna do no normal shit, bro.
Exactly.
That we was like,
which is the whole thing.
That's funny because
like
we would expect that to happen.
Was not
we would expect that to happen.
Yeah.
I think he does what's unexpected. You feel me? And that's
Right, right,
I
right,
kind of fuck with that, but sometimes it kind of does mess with the show. You know what I mean? But
right.
it is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So we definitely gonna look out for Swarm 2. Let us know what y'all think, what
Yes,
y'all
sir.
thought about the show. I guess we'll probably talk about it again in the future when we hear more about it, or if I see like an interview or something with Donald Glover explaining more, because I'm
Yeah.
curious as to like um the final decisions, like what we see and was it real? You get what I'm saying? Like how you were saying the end and stuff, like just interested to see his interpretation.
Yeah.
Um
Facts.
but let's move on, man. So before we, so we don't got